How did quitting drugs change my life? Just to let you know that I am in long-term recovery from both a Percocet and fentanyl addiction. It was a very ugly addiction. I was very deep into it. I'd lost over 40 pounds. I lost everything in my life, my career, my family, my freedom. I went to prison for it. So a lot of consequences, how it changed my life. That being said, there's good and there's the bad. I'm going to start with the good. The good is that veil, that darkness or shroud that's been over me when I was using, I was a shadow of myself. And I've come alive now in my recovery. It took a lot of work and a lot of time. After about a year and a half, after when I initially detoxed, is when I finally got through all of the psychological, the anxiety and discomfort, fears, difficulties concentrating. And I also, after about 6 months, got through all the severe muscle weakness that affected me. Even walking up a hill was difficult. So in the beginning, it was difficult. But after that, it was like a rebirth. And I have found I'm full of enthusiasm and love, hope, determination. My thoughts are much clearer. My vocabulary is improved. And I'm a lot more present for those who are around me, including my loved ones, family and friends, and for people online. So it's much nicer over here. I gotta say, it took a lot of effort, but recovery is possible and things are so much better. The darkness of recovery, of addiction is well behind me now, but I remember it very well. So speaking of that note, I'm gonna change gears here and discuss how it changed my life when, in the beginning. So in the early stages of recovery, when I first detoxed, I was extremely ill. So I was on Suboxone, which is an opioid replacement therapy. It took the place of the fentanyl that I was on. I went through withdrawal once to get onto the Suboxone, and then a rapid wean was prescribed by my caring physician while I was in rehab/detox. And I went through withdrawal again about 24 hours after the last dose of Suboxone. It was a nightmare for me, but I got through it. It was 32 hours of utter hell. It was a horrible experience. I do remember the agitation, the worry, the anxiety, irritability, sweats, chills, nausea, diarrhea, cramps, back pain. But this was all temporary. I got through it. It lasted for me. The worst of it was 32 hours, and then this was followed by what I call the golden nap. And I had a nap when I was in rehab, and just that the cocoon let go, the handcuffs let go, this extreme weakness that I had been experiencing and the fear just suddenly let go a little bit. It wasn't perfect then, but it certainly was. I knew I was through the worst of the storm, the 32-hour storm. And then, as I said before, the muscle weakness lasted for me for about 6 months. The psychological issues lasted about 18 months. So and that was called post-acute withdrawal syndrome. That's a well-known thing. I think it was protracted or longer for me probably because I was older at the time. When I spoke to younger people, younger guys who'd been through it, they were able to bounce back much quicker than I could. So it seems to be dependent on age, health, maybe smoking status. Maybe smokers, it could last longer, the post-acute withdrawal. So that should settle it there. So in the short term, it was a tough go, but I got through it. And I was in the right environment with loving people in rehab who cared about me, doctors who were looking out for me, and being connected, even right in the beginning, being connected with others. Started with rehab. Over the long term, it's been fantastic. Yes, it takes time to get there, but I'm at the point now in my life where I've never been stronger. Even though I went to jail, even though I went to 6 months of rehab, I have never been stronger in my life, more determined, and that's because I can think clearly now. My emotions are not medicated. I can feel things to a much greater extent, and it seems like by being raked through the mud, or raked through the ground here, that in all of this anguish that I found something strong, and I built up my own foundation in my recovery. I've done this for myself. No one can take it away from me. So the most important thing is that I would say in recovery is that I need to continue making good decisions. I get derailed, whether it's I could relapse by making a series of bad decisions or one quick bad decision. So the way I've done this and built up my foundation is to think things through before I do them. Life is about options and decisions, and to realize that there are many choices that I'm able to make, and by not making a decision, that is a decision as well. So trying to make the best decision in my life has gotten me to this point. Paying my dues by going through withdrawal, But in the end, life is so much better, and I promise you it's much better over here than it is in the depths of addiction.
If you or a loved one are looking for help with substance abuse, call our 24/7 helpline at 1-800-615-1067. A caring addiction advisor is awaiting your call.